You're very welcome along to Off the Wall. It's Off the Ball's Game of Thrones podcast, brought to you with thanks to Discover Northern Ireland, with their Game of Thrones territory boasting over 25 locations and experiences for the ultimate fan. For more information, log on to discovernorthernireland.com, and you can get us as well on Spotify and all Off the Ball social channels. We're talking about a thing called the Battle of Winterfell for the next half an hour or so. We are going to have spoilers and more spoilers and more spoilers. This is your warning to get the hell out of here, unless you're like Sue, whose Fitbit has exploded after what happened at the end of that episode. Andy and Tommy are also here. Can we just have a breathing session?
Yeah.
Some meditation?
A lot to unpack.
It was really stressful. Like, you didn't watch about ads though? I had ads. I actually felt like for the first time in my life I needed ad breaks.
Yes.
Like,
Definitely kill the momentum.
Dead right.
No, it didn't kill the momentum at all.
Yeah.
It actually, I could breathe. Like, I was like, okay, and just a couple of minutes.
I'm still so tense after it.
Yeah, I'm a bit worked up actually this morning. Yeah.
So wound after it.
Right, as we say, spoilers alert, and we're going to start at the very end because it turns out the Night King just wasn't as key a figure as I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to, or I wanted him to get the Iron Throne.
You love the Night King.
Yeah, you're sad.
You
now.
were really
love the Night
disappointed.
Yeah, really disappointing ending. And I don't even think that's necessarily a case of opinion. I think that is categorically really poor ending to the whole White Walker / Night King narrative. What was the point?
I'm kind of on your side.
What was the point?
But the point isn't, it's called Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but like this whole sort of mystique we created around the Night King, we finally get this battle. It's going to be the start of whatever this may be. And it's like, actually, you know what? Let's just take this out. Who was the Night King in the first place? Was it all just a pointless piece of writing? Like, I just don't believe if the books were written up to date, George R. R. Martin would have written this.
What do you think?
I have to agree. I have to agree. Like, these are the great over there. Like, to be done after 3 episodes of the final season, it's not anticlimactic because the episode was amazing. It was it's probably the greatest episode of TV. Like, it's going to be hard to follow that in in any genre.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for anybody to follow that. Just the epic scale of it, the cinematography, the score,
Score was
emotional
brilliant,
scenes. It was the action. It was.
I haven't processed it yet, probably.
It was epic. But even though I agree with Owen, when Arya stabs the Night King, you're like, yes, because at that point it's all lost, and everyone's just thinking Jon's going to get there, he's going to do it, but it's not him, and she comes out of nowhere. Where did she come out of? I don't know how she got there without being...
Well, she's the faceless.
She is, yeah.
Like, they've built her over the season to be this assassin.
Yeah, and do you know when we were all kind of like, Arya's narrative in season 5, season 6? Well, it was worth it for this. Maybe.
Still think going on a bit.
Something that I really, really liked about it now, when she met with Mel in the fight, when her and Sandor Clegane were escaping the Whites, she had that little bit of stealth mission that, Metal Gear Solid, she was crawling and creeping, and she got out, but then she had fear, and she was like back to being a child again, back to being that little kid again. And then they finally escape and get into a bit of safety where they meet Mel, and she reminds her who she's become. She says, I know you, Arya says, and we've met before. She says, yes. She said, you close many eyes. She says, I have. She says, you close brown eyes, green eyes, and blue eyes.
Yeah.
And when she said that in season 3, I didn't cop at the time, that was like, what she actually meant was, you're going to kill the Night King.
I didn't even cop it in the bloody episode.
Yeah, I only copped it in the rewatch. I thought maybe White Walker.
What do we say to God of Death? Not today.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, yes, get in there.
They lock guys at the start of the episode.
Yes,
remember?
Yes.
When there's this...
She's on the battlements,
This solitary horse trotting in, and you're just like, who is this? Who is coming? And you don't know who it is.
Yeah.
And it's Melisandre. And then she locks eyes with Arya, and you're like, there's something going on here.
Yeah,
Like, we had, in previous episodes and Off the Wall, we had all talked about the Night King not being there. And sometimes and they do subvert the narrative in terms of good writing does anyway, like the way they were saying it's safe in the crypts, it's going to be safe in crypts, and it wasn't safe in the crypts, but they said he's going to be here, Night King come, and then we all thought that he wouldn't be there, but he actually does come. So that, I was a little let down by that he was actually there, that he actually exposed himself like that. But it was a fantastic ending, like that moment when he's just about to kill, like him and Bran are just staring at each other, and I'm not sure if there's some telepathy there between them, because he almost looks like, and Bran gives him a little look, and then he's like, oh, what's coming? You know what's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, and
Yeah,
it was a fantastic.
We're sure he was about to kill him, are we?
But yeah, because he just reaches for the ice sword and he's back. Like one gripe I have is that we saw Daenerys burn him, Dracarys.
Yeah.
He doesn't burn.
No.
And he gives a little smile. He finds his facial muscles. And
Targaryen.
That was my first thought.
Myself and Owen actually watched the episode together.
Valyrian steel is created with dragonfire. It's forged with dragonfire. That's what makes it special. So he can't be killed by dragonfire, but he can be killed by a weapon that's created by dragonfire. Like a little bit of that doesn't match up to me. But the one thing I will say about the dagger that kills him, you know, that was the dagger that was meant to kill Bran. Nobody knows where this dagger actually came from. It was Littlefinger's, was it Joffrey's? It's the cat's paw dagger. And the assassin, when Bran is in a coma in season 1, nobody knows who gave the assassin. It's some debate over who was actually behind it, who hired this assassin. But that was the dagger that was that was used to kill Bran.
Simon, whose vision makes sense, said it was in the book Sam's reading when he discovers the dragon glass.
Yeah, so it had a huge and back from season 1 all the way to season 8, and it's actually there was a dagger that saved Bran in the end.
Yeah.
It's great knotting up with the plot.
We were watching it earlier on together, and that minute or so when Theon gloriously dies trying to kill the Night King, and the Night King is walking towards Bran. Maybe I was the only one narrating it, but myself and Owen were watching it in silence, and I was going, he's going to talk to him. They're going to talk to each other. Then the Night King raises his hand. I was like, he's going for a high five here. I was sure something was going to happen between them.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wasn't disappointed at all. I have to
I'm not disappointed.
I'm annoyed at you.
No.
So, sorry. But, think about it. We've been building this up for 8 seasons. So have you gone back to the start and watched it from the start?
No,
I have.
So I actually have gone back and watched it. And it's all the time is building towards this point. At what point were we going to get to this point? I don't think it's happened that quickly. I was watching some of the... we're going back to episode 1 here, where we were first introduced to the Whites and the White Walkers. We knew this was coming for 8 seasons. I don't think they rushed it at all. I think we've been waiting a long time to get to this point. And I thought Arya... The whole story with Arya, I was like, it all makes sense. She's the assassin. She's stealth. She can get in there. She's going to save everyone. It's not Jon. We thought it was going to be Jon the entire time. And Bran is not connected to the Night King after all.
You were sure he was?
Yeah.
I thought that was
You
great.
read a spoiler halfway through the episode when you popped it to go on Black Kenny. You were sure the whole time. I'll be honest.
He's a bit shook. Don't mind him.
Destroyed at me this morning at 5 a.m.
His whole world has just fell apart.
I hope everyone watching on this side of the water who watched the episode just there and is watching off the wall with us right now hadn't had the episode spoiling them. But at 5:30 this morning when I was on a taxi into work,
I know.
The ringer posted a GIF. Michael Jordan switching hands. It was who switched hands better. And I couldn't get it off my phone quick enough. I didn't fully see what happened, but I knew Arya was going to kill the Night King.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, destroyed the whole thing of me.
But I mean, there's still a lot in that episode, though. But I definitely just think it was a great ending, and I don't think we need to know that much more about the Night King. We know he needs to kill everyone, civilization. We know he wants to get rid of Bran. Did we really need to know that much more about him?
I don't know. I think before we end the show, there'll be a new Night King. They might see some more about him in flashbacks, but I think there might have to always be a Night King. But I don't know, will Arya become the Night King? Because in the previous episode, episode 2, the Hound says, "You really are a cold bitch, aren't you?" Maybe that's foreshadowing that she'll become the new Night Queen.
You're killing me, Andy.
But I don't know. I think before the end of the show, we might see a new Night King be created.
You think so?
I think so. I'm not sure. But I think we should. It'd be great to see a little bit more flashbacks through Bran, because Bran was, for the whole episode, more or less half of the episode, was in the werewood net. He was eyes rolled back in his head.
Yeah.
Where was he? We see him fly the
Where was he? Yeah.
And we see him go up and get the first look at the Night King. But where is he up to? What's he doing since then? So we'll see. Well, I think we should go back and just unpack the episode, maybe start to finish, because there was so much in this episode. With Sam, it opens with Sam and from his perspective, and he's trembling and how scared he is, and he just gets handed 2 dragonglass daggers, and then he's, what am I doing?
I did a Grey Worm watch during the whole episode.
Yeah.
Oh, were you?
Because ever since the initial trailer, I've been like, Grey Worm's dead.
No one of the big. This is one gripe too. None of the big characters died.
When did they get lifted by the Night King?
None of them.
Sir Jorah's.
Lyanna Mormont.
Jorah, Theon.
Ed.
Theon's gone.
Beric. Lyanna.
Eric was always going to die. He's dead.
In the last 5 minutes, it was
Melisandre.
Jorah, and it was Melisandre, and it was Theon who went,
Yeah.
and the Night King, obviously. But, 22 minutes in, I'm looking at the screen, Grey Worm's still there. 26 minutes in, he's still there. I thought he had to be gone. 58 minutes in, when the white, the Unsullied white, I thought it was Grey Worm, but it wasn't. How the hell is Grey Worm still alive?
You have to give it up to the Unsullied though. They held the gate. They held
the
you couldn't
retreat
ask for
as well.
a better group of soldiers in the formation, the discipline, and they just held the gate. They protected everyone. The Dothraki, let's go back. Let's start with the Dothraki. Mel turns up, gives the Dothraki the fire.
Very stressful.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
It was a genius move. I have written down here how not to defend a castle. They eventually got the right idea, but why didn't they just execute that at the very start? Why were the Dothraki sent out there in the first place?
It was they should have been held back. I think
that's not how you defend a castle where you have actual structure.
And come from the flanks. Once the whites approached, once they encroached, I don't know. Maybe
it didn't matter in the end because they climbed the walls. It was only a matter of time.
No, but it was just great. It was just a great scene. They're all on fire. You just seen from afar how and then they're into the darkness. And there's a bit I know the episode was very dark. It was hard to see a lot of the time what was going on.
That goes the lights.
But it was almost. It actually added to the kind of the fear factor that you don't know what's out there.
Yeah.
And then they kind of go out and the lights just
gone.
One by one. They just
what
start.
happened? I was thinking that
they're gone.
Me and Owen watching on an iPad, and I was thinking that the screen is too dark to actually see what happens.
Yeah.
How did Jorah get back? Did he just get slaughtered?
Jorah just comes back. He rides back in the horse and he looks at Tom and he's like,
No, they're gone.
Don't go out there. But it was a great scene. And then you just see this wave of whites coming.
Yeah.
And just what it is and the chaos of war, and the madness of it all and
and they're kind of half smart as well.
They've gotten smart.
Yeah. So the whole thing when they were trying to break the trench all the way around. So you're like, the fire's up. Oh God, bit of a breather here. Oh no, wait.
They're just stopped.
They figured out how to get through this fire.
Show their human side. Great depth of character in these whites. Why did you get rid of them?
But you're starting to think, have they developed brains here?
Yeah.
And then we see Bran working into the Ravens, and is it the Night King there just pulling the strings? In the background?
Yeah.
And just gets them and you're just like, no, they're gonna lie into the fire. And they're through.
Yeah.
Relentless. And was it Lord of the Rings then? Was that
it felt very Lord of the Rings at that point, didn't it?
When they climbed the castle, when they breached the walls.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, grand. Doesn't matter how you defend the castle, they can climb walls.
Yeah.
There's always going to be those comparisons, isn't it? Because of the epic, kind of
fantasy
of the land it's in, and everything like that.
We're going all over the place here, aren't we?
Well, yeah, but we have to. It's just.
So sorry. The thing I wrote down at the start was the return of Melisandre, which I thought was amazing.
That was class.
And we knew she was coming back, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we knew she was going to have this massive part to play. But I loved that's why I was so convinced she knows everything. She knew everything. She knew her part. She knew where she was going to die. She knew how she was going to die. But that's what I wonder about the Stannis thing. Did she do that wrong to get the other thing right?
So are you the prince that was promised?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I guess she's the one who. Yeah.
That's what I thought at the end of the episode.
I don't even know if that's relevant anymore, and the way the show's gone, it's just hard to unpack. But yeah, Melisandre, you could see that her power was waning. Initially, she lights the Dothraki swords.
Yeah, the trenches are taking
and it
longer.
just takes one or two little,
That was an amazing scene as well.
renditions of her little spell, and then by the time she has to do 5 or 6 times to get the trenches going.
Yeah.
And
she was afraid.
And she knew,
She was afraid. As the whites are coming for her, she's afraid. She's looking to her left and her right. She's shaking.
Yeah.
And by the end, she just knew it was time to go.
She looked like a White Walker walking off into the sand or the snow.
She did a bit, yeah.
It was a beautiful scene.
It was beautiful, but I just thought, what a way to come full circle.
Yeah, 100%. We wanted to talk about the MVP of the battle here. We wanted to pick out who was the person who stood out the most. And I think the best way to do this is, what was our favourite kill in the battle? Most people's favourite kill will be Arya killing the Night King.
Yeah.
Lyanna moment.
I was full on cheering, clapping.
I was like, oh no, it's going to be another Oberyn Martell.
Yeah.
What happened? It would be horrific.
Oh no.
It basically was.
Yeah.
But at least she got the final say.
I was thinking, I was getting a bit fed up of Lyanna moment. She's been, she was supposed to only be, fair play to the actress, because she was only supposed to be a one scene character.
Really?
But she did such a great job in season 6.
Yeah.
Talking down Jon Snow and Sansa, that they give her more, you know. And
she's great, though.
Yeah, and she's obviously had a huge part to play. But like, even like in this season when she's stepping up and kind of talking down to men, like she's from a minor house. They don't have many soldiers, but she's given this prominence in the Great Hall to stand up and kind of speak to everybody. And then even when Jorah's like, you got to go down to the crypts in episode 2, and she's like, I'm going to stand here and fight. And I'm thinking, like, you're a small little girl. What are you going to, like, what can you do? But fair play that she kind of commanded a lot of the inside internal army. And then she has that great kill at the end.
Great moment.
Yeah.
I was so sad when she was raised again. I was like, oh no!
Yeah, then she's just a little child, like when you're watching, like, and she's getting smashed.
Yeah.
That's my kill, though.
Yeah, Lyanna was pretty amazing.
My MVPs, it's hard to split them because you got Theon.
I was about to say Theon.
Jorah, all the guys who like Jorah, like he saved Dany, you know, and he had a
Start looking around Theon.
and what a like even before Arya killed the Night King, I'm thinking Arya's a badass. You know, the Hound is freezing. Yeah, I love that part. He's free, like he's we're dead. He's very say, come on, man, we got to do something. He's like, look, we're fighting death. We're dead. Let's just get it. And he's like, well, tell that to her, and she's up there like just. Like
but
slaying people.
At that stage, she wasn't slaying people. She was on the back foot.
Yeah, but before that and up to that, like, and she was like...
I love that expression on Davos's face when he sees her as well. He's just like...
Wow. Yeah, I know.
What the hell am I witnessing? It was amazing.
And then, like,
the first time we see David Clifford.
Yeah. And then he comes alive. He kind of finds his purpose again, you know, to fight. If she can do it, I can do it. And, like... It was brilliant, wasn't it? You know, I think like obviously Beric's got to get it.
Just about to say Beric.
Yeah,
and he was also a challenger for Kill of the Episode with the flying sword.
Yeah, and I love he's deaf because like he's the guy who's been resurrected, and he almost has like a Christ, like you know, he's just getting crucified, like you know, it was like a little nod by the director, whoever it was, you know, like that. This is the guy who gets resurrected, but Dany. Like I think now going forward, Dany has to be given the respect of the novelist because without her,
they were finished.
They were gone. Like John at the start, John the hero and the father, they got the plan. They got the plan to. This is the plan. Got our strategy, and she sees her army who've been with her from the start. The Dothraki get wiped out, and she's like, "Screw this! I'm getting on my dragon. We got to go. Like, forget this plan. We wait. They're all going to be dead." And like, she saves the whole lot, and she saves Jon right at the end when he's surrounded by whites. And I think like they had go on.
My instinct during much of it was, where is she?
Yeah.
A lot of times, yeah. Like, well, there's sometimes like the whites are all stood there at the trenches, and the dragon is in the background, burning them. Come to the front line, give them a bit of time, you know. Look, it's a show. It makes it drama.
I want to get to your point about the respect of the Northerners for Dany in just a moment, but just to kind of round up this and kind of round up the episode as a whole. It was a brilliant episode in terms of the combat and in terms of the visual spectacle that it was. But I do think we got a lot of nuggets in terms of foreshadowing what we're going to see in terms of the political intrigue over the next couple of episodes. Yeah. Because I do think it's the one positive of getting rid of the Night King and the White Walkers is we're back to Game of Thrones. We're back to Game of Thrones. We're back to politics. We're back to people stabbing each other in the back figuratively rather than literally, which I actually prefer. As much as I love the Night King. Like that's why I loved him, you know, he was an honest guy, he wanted to kill you and he was front up about that, but anyway, I'll leave it lie. The conversations we got in the crypts, we got in the crypts was very, very interesting, the foreshadowing of the divided loyalties.
It was a nice cycle, wasn't it, because it was Sansa doing Cersei's thing. Sansa had become Cersei and was leading in the crypt. It was a nice kind of full circle. I thought it was done really, really well. Yeah.
But it is Melisandre who checks her. You know, she checks
Yeah. But I think she believes her now. Can I mention two things about this episode? The dialogue and script was amazing. Two of my favourite quotes, and I think one is from the trailer. Everything you did, we brought you where you are now, where you belong, home, is amazing. And what do we say to the God of Death? Not today.
Not today, yeah.
And I have to do, it's amazing.
Or sticking with the pointy end was a good one as well. all the hits were played.
It was just nice, they're all coming together. But one thing I loved about this episode, and I don't know if people are going to talk about it, is the tracking shot of Jon Snow going through Winterfell.
From above?
No, when he comes in towards the end, when the dragon's chasing him and he's trying to get to Bran, is incredible.
That's unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Unreal.
It's so
even
well shot.
Like, looking at the Night King and Night King's raising him, and like just the look of Winterfell in the background. It's amazing.
It just looks beautiful. Like, and I think people are going to fly through this and you need to watch it again and again and again. It's
even
just
the
so
first dragon aerial battle where they go beyond the storm and they're in the clouds, it's like a painting.
Yeah,
it's
up in the sky with Danny and
and it's
Jon.
just quiet and peaceful, and they're just waiting. And it's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful.
The score with like Ramin, I can't pronounce his surname, Djawadi. He's like the score, and it starts. Would you think? I don't know. I thought for a second like Tyrion and Sansa, they were going to murder-suicide each other. Did you think that?
Yeah.
The crypts and like, whoa, like what's going on here? It's getting real dark. You know?
Sansa was going out.
Then the score starts, and it's like, here's the final twist coming. Like, and it was amazing. Like, it was just building up to crescendo. And it was,
I was sure Sansa was going to meet Ned.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was waiting for Lyanna.
Crawling out of the crypts.
Yeah. God, yeah.
That was
a
a twist.
How did Gilly survive? How
Little Sam, Skilly's there, Sam's there.
But was it Gilly that was getting dragged under?
She was getting dragged at one point. Then we don't see her for another 7 or 8 minutes.
What about Sam? He was basically sitting down like on a whole bunch of dead people, like it was a couch, like.
It's like that,
and he survived.
It's like that scene in Breaking Bad where your man is lying on the couch, except it's Sam on a load of dead bodies.
You gotta make that.
I don't know how that happened. There was I'm definitely still. Because we just watched it before we clicked record here, so I'm definitely still on edge here a little bit. I'm not thinking straight.
You didn't MVP.
My MVP, I have to agree with you, Theon. I just think that was outrageous. That was absolutely outrageous.
He was so brave in the end.
That was actually
so brave. It was everything you wanted from him. At the end.
I was thinking.
It's the Game of Thrones character arc. It's his opportunity.
Yeah.
Take your chance, bud.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I wanted to bring up here. The idea of the Night King exposing himself in such a way that Arya Stark could kill him, I actually find okay. I don't actually find the way he died to be part of my theory on why it's a bad idea. I just think that the character arc and the narrative arc is a bit off. But the way it happened, I'm happy with, because I think it makes sense that they would try and lure the Night King into Bran Stark. Was that a deliberate ploy on behalf of the people of Winterfell to try and get the Night King into that position? Or was it just the way it worked out? Is it just the way it worked out that the only way he would expose himself was to go and kill Bran?
But I think the idea was to get Jon back there. I think the idea was that Jon was going to come back as soon as he had it figured out, and then Arya realised this is going to happen. I'm going to have to get in there. That's what I thought.
Lads, that scene in the war room when they're planning it before they all go on the beer together in their last night, they did not plan that to happen. They couldn't have. Like, even in your wildest dreams, like, Joe Schmidt wouldn't plan it, as I said before. And the walls to be breached. Like, they did their best to stop them coming in. Didn't they?
Yeah.
Jon wanted to wait with the dragon.
There had to have been some final idea of what would happen if things really, really got bad. Like, to be fair, maybe their plan for that was just, maybe in a literal sense, just say their prayers and just hope it's not too brutal a death, because there was a resignation amongst every single citizen in that town before the battle that, we're all going to die here. Let's try something. Everything they tried seemed to be a Hail Mary, but I do wonder if somebody thought that actually the best way to kill this guy is to get him alone, and the best way to get him alone is to get him going for Bran, because that's what he's after.
That's what they plan. He's going to come for me. That's what Bran said in the war room. He's going to come for me. And leaving Theon, like, they didn't have a huge army around him. They had Theon and
Theon couldn't be
Alice Karsak was there. Whatever she might have been an archer of some use, but Theon did well. And I thought when Theon charged them, I thought Theon was going to pull a little side dagger out, because he's,
So did I.
But, you know what we need now? Player Cam and Arya Stark. How she managed to get in there. That's a good idea. We need that.
We'll play the teaser for the next episode very shortly. The one last point I wanted to make, and we'll get everybody's final thoughts on the episode, is that the most badass character I've ever seen in any TV show or movie ever is a White Walker Dothraki. Like, that was the most amazing thing I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
When the Dothraki warrior wakes up with his blue eyes, I was that is badass.
That was it. Like, you talked about the Hail Marys. Like, at that point when all the dead are coming back, Jon can't get past the dragon. It's like everything's gone. And you was talking about the resignation they all had. And Jaime, they're just standing around looking at all these whites who've just been resurrected, and people they know, Ed, Lyanna, and they're thinking, like, we're done.
Yeah.
A lack of heroism from Jaime Lannister in that episode.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He saved a lot of people.
Two or three times I saw Jaime with his head ducking under a number of whites, thinking, Jaime's gone, good luck.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
And then he's still there 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
What?
Him and Breen kind of had each other's back. They were like a tag team.
A little bit.
Yeah.
They were just like protecting each other.
I kept screaming at them, just go back to back.
You could hear Breen the whole time.
I thought Brienne was dead at one moment.
Yeah, you could hear
Yeah,
more.
so
sure
did I.
she was
dead.
When
Still alive.
John comes in, and that I loved John trying to walk through and not save everyone.
Did you
Oh,
guys
it's so
think
hard.
that was Drogon, the final dragon.
I thought so too.
I didn't
Yeah.
know who that was. Yeah. I thought the Whites had actually
Had
taken
raised
him
him.
down. Yeah, but I was thinking like this is huge, but it wasn't
But
actually.
no, Drogon would actually come back to Dany. Oh no, Dany.
No, it just happened at the end, with the death of Jorah. But
So we lost another dragon. The John.
no, I think the two dragons
the
are
second
still
dragon
alive.
died. Andy thinks
I
he's
think
still
they're still
alive.
alive.
Well, we'll get to that now. Like, do we have any final thoughts on the battle before we play the teaser for next week? Because the teaser is very interesting.
Any thoughts on the battle? It's just so stressful. It was just so stressful.
It was epic.
I honestly.
I think after the go on. Sorry.
No,
Sue.
I was just going to say I don't think I've processed it. I think I need to watch it again.
Yeah.
I've watched it a couple of times now, but
How many times?
I've watched it 7 times since last night.
But after the the episode 1 and 2, we were dying for this episode. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of filled that void.
Yeah.
And now
They
it's
were,
back.
like,
Now it's back to interest.
waiting.
But like we'll see it in the preview. Maybe we won't have much breathing room because it looks like there's another battle afoot.
Look at his notes here. It's like cheating in school.
I know. Yeah, my notes are like Charlie from
Oh, you
Always
should
Sunny.
see mine. Mine are just like,
like-
what the hell is happening at one point?
I just followed Grey Worm for the whole episode.
Right, let's have a look at what's going to happen in Season 8, Episode 4 of Game of Thrones.
It's Winterfell.
We have won the Great War. Now we will win the last war. We'll rip her out root and stem.
What's the twist? I told you there's going to be a massive twist. I said it last week. What is it? You know what it is. Look at you.
I don't want to give spoilers.
I know,
Real
we know.
spoilers away. Real spoilers. We know something big happens in King's Landing, but I know the reason for it now.
I know.
I'll tell you off screen.
I
can't tell you guys.
Give the
No,
warning,
because
give the
this
warning.
view. I
He
don't
knows.
know.
He
No.
knows. I know he knows.
People at home want to watch the show, and we can give spoilers away once the show's been aired. But I don't think it's fair to give spoilers away before a show.
You're going to have so many people DMing you.
No. My DMs are closed. Listen, I think it's great.
You're hosting.
Yeah.
With you. What do you?
No.
You managed to find this out?
No.
Do you have it on good information?
I'm not giving it up. No. You have to stag me with a dragon glass
We've
dagger.
had so many spoilers.
No.
It's only a theory anyway. You can't. It's not. It's only a theory.
Apparently, well, I learned this from listening to. No, I learned this from listening to Saturday Soccer with Nathan and Johnny Ward here. It's a hypothesis if it doesn't happen. It's a theory only if it happens.
Okay, right.
So,
Okay.
but
What's your
we're not
hypothesis?
going into it.
Sometimes you can hypothesize the truth, Andy.
Listen, it looks like it's going to be another. Like I think it's going to be another building one. Like it seems like they're going to mourn the dead, burn the dead, and then have a big celebration. And I think it looks like Daenerys is leading the celebration.
Right.
It's her voice.
Yeah, where's John? There's no John in that episode. In that
There is
teaser.
just a shot of him looking kind of mournful. I think that's for the dead that have gone, and maybe something to do with his lineage and what coming to terms with that.
For the dead that is gone. Hold on a second.
All the dead.
Not that many dead. Think of it. You're after having the greatest battle of all time.
I don't think anybody's left.
They're going to burn them. They're burning them.
I don't think you just get on with it.
50% of the north is dead.
I'm thinking like who's going to be piling up the bodies? Like who's left to like?
Well, you get Drogon out to burn them, though.
It's good shout,
what I
actually.
got.
Yeah, that's good practical tip. Right, so I think you've gone through the teaser and you paused it.
Yeah.
Let's start with the politics in the north. So it seems that Daenerys is quite happy. It seems that
Could be completely like they could be throwing us off the.
That's what I
really
mean. I think it's still a
Yeah.
twist. Yeah.
But it's
What do you think the twist is then?
I think Danny's going to die. I still think Danny's going to die.
down the end.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could happen.
I
yeah,
still
it
think
could
she's a
happen.
goner.
Do you know how it's going to happen, or how do you suspect it might happen?
I still no, so I said in the first episode, and I don't know how you kind of agreed with me at the time, and I don't know if you still agree with me, that John's going to kill her, that she'll just
Could
become
happen,
too
yeah.
crazy.
I don't. Yeah.
With
I
power.
think she's redeemed herself so hugely though in episode 3.
But she's still mad about the throne.
I know,
the
but I
whole
think
thing
they
was
have to
just-
give her a due now. They have to. It would be, I don't know. If Sansa still goes up against her after what she's just done for everybody, saved all their lives.
Yeah.
If you got rid of Cersei and you put Dany on the throne, there could be peace in the realm. There could be, couldn't there?
But like I think this whole
What
thing
about the
with this whole
North,
thing with the North and independent North, like she already granted the Iron Islands independence in season 6 when Theon comes up and Yara.
Yeah,
so why wouldn't she?
She's just going to break the wheel, isn't she? Is that where it's leading us? It's just going to be a democracy and there's going to be no Iron Throne.
That would be the biggest disappointment.
She says it. She says to Tyrion, I'm going to break the wheel.
That would be a real twist. That would be like the political kind of intrigue level that we kind of require at this point. But the immediate thing is, when does Sansa find out about Jon's lineage?
Oh yeah, she
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
know yet.
That's the next key moment.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's going to happen in the next episode.
But all this conflict between Jon and her, it all goes away to just get married, which
Jon
is
and
natural.
Sansa?
No,
Jon and
Danny.
Well, Jon and Sansa.
In Westeros, it's perfectly fine. As long as you keep it private. What else have we got in that?
I like well, we see that Danny's taking the ships
They're only
south.
cousins, They're only cousins, man.
They're aunt and nephew, aren't they? So that's what we think is going to happen in the North. We've also got Euron Greyjoy and Cersei in what appears to be Euron Greyjoy down on one knee proposing.
It is King's Landing, isn't it?
It is King's Landing. it seems,
King's
yeah.
Landing looks huge, and it looks like they have like the walls look huge.
Pretty
It
well
looks-
kept.
Yeah, I'm saying like
And King's
it's going to
Landing
be
can be well
it's going to be a
protected.
tough siege.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough siege.
Absolute tactical
Not
masterstroke
out
from Cersei to not get involved in the Battle of Winterfell at this point, because ultimately all those armies are completely decimated. Like, what do we think percentage-wise of Cersei plus the Golden Company against everybody from the North? It must be double the size at this point after
Well,
the damage that was done.
if like the small folk get involved, there's 1 million people in King's Landing. It's been said and said and said before. It's been so. I'm not sure if they will get involved, if they will fight for the Lords. But who's left in the North besides two huge dragons?
That's going to be the deal breaker, you'd imagine.
You still have the Chiron's what do you call it? The thing
Ballistas.
Ballistas, yeah.
Look, it's been a big, epic night of Game of Thrones action.
There's certainly
And I'm going to have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
One other thing from the teaser is obviously Arya and Gendry. Gendry, what was the last time we saw him in that episode? It was quite early, wasn't it?
I didn't see. You saw him again alive, didn't you? You saw him alive.
He makes it out. I just see him in this. It's
In
definitely
ours.
him.
I didn't see him in
It's
the
definitely
teaser.
him kissing Arya.
I saw him in the turrets. That's the
Yeah.
last time I saw him before I saw him in the teaser. I couldn't remember where he went.
Also,
And the Lord of the Rings theme when they're battering them back down.
Yeah.
That's the last time.
I can't remember seeing him after that.
Yeah. The last kind of sequence, you're kind of like, still alive.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, it's John walking through the thing. It's the tracking shot, so you probably was in the background there and we just didn't see him.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on there.
That's going to become
He's
a very
like,
important relationship, of course, over the next couple of episodes. And the other thing that a few eagle-eyed viewers have pointed out is that Ghost has survived the Battle of Winterfell. There's a screenshot in the teaser where Ghost is there, so it's all good. And really, maybe I'm just still on a bit of a Game of Thrones buzz after that episode. I'm really excited for this next episode. Like, the dawn at the end was obviously the last thing I wanted to see. I was like, I wanted it to stay nighttime forever in Westeros. And that dawn was the last thing I saw. And then I saw the sunny climes of King's Landing, and I kind of like it again. I kind of makes me feel nostalgic for season 5 or something like that.
That's your Uber right there.
should we get rid of all our dead?
Yeah,
Right, let's update our map.
Gone. There's a lot more than we thought. So Jorah,
Gone.
and
Melisandre, up the top.
Melisandre.
gone. And that's it.
So
Where
we
the
can't
hell is
actually
Bronn? Sorry, where the hell is Bronn?
Bron's
Halfway
there.
up the
He's
road.
down in King's Landing waiting for the lads with
Did
the
he not
crossbow.
leave?
No, he's gone out of King's Landing looking
Did
for
he?
the lads. Yeah,
Yeah,
he went looking for them.
The Hound is still there.
They're all these boys and girls.
So to call us out all
Except
those
for
characters
Cersei.
there that we've got in Winterfell.
Except for Cersei.
So we've got Varys.
Whereas Varys is still alive, we think.
Yeah.
He's
Danny.
alive yet. Confirmed.
Arya, Sansa, Jon. Sorry, I'm just putting them out so everyone can see them.
Sir Davos.
Tyrion, Davos.
Tyrion's dead.
Tyrion's alive.
Tyrion's not dead.
Tyrion, sorry, yeah.
Tyrion's not dead.
Apologies.
Who's that?
No spoilers.
Grey Worm, as we've said. Cersei's down here having a good time in the sun.
It's Grey Worm still going.
Who is that?
That's Sam and Gilly.
Gilly, Jamie, and Bran.
And Euron's down here.
Right, we promised the map is going to get a lot more interesting next week when people actually start leaving one location. We seem to be in 2 locations at the moment, and that's it. That was the kind of, I hate to go back to the episode once again, but the relentless nature of it was made by the fact that it was just 90 minutes of one place.
Yeah.
It was just one, like, I'm trying to think in the previous episodes of mega battles, there was always a scene or two elsewhere early on before you had like a relentless 40 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah.
This was 90 minutes of like, I feel like I'm here and anything can happen at any moment.
Yeah, it was relentless. It was absolutely relentless.
This was by far the best battle in Game of Thrones history. Like, I wasn't that high up on the Battle of the Bastards, but Hard Home, even the attack on Castle Black, those were pretty...
Battle of Blackwater was pretty good.
Yeah. And this one...
That was definitely the best.
So final thoughts. I think it's fair to ask this question again. We said it before we started the season of Off the Wall, but who do we think is going to get the Iron Throne? Because certainly my hope has now changed. Has your opinion or expectation changed?
I think I'm going to say there isn't going to be an Iron Throne.
I'm going with Sansa.
You had Sansa and
I
Tyrion.
said Sansa at the start and you robbed it off me.
I had Sansa and Tyrion down here.
First episode, didn't you?
Yeah.
I feel like that look, that Sansa and Tyrion look, when you thought that they were going to go and
Do you remember when we were at the Game of Thrones exhibition though, and they showed us the TV, and the first person that came on the TV, I know I keep saying this, was Tyrion. And it was like all the main players, and it was only in that moment we were standing there looking at the TV, I went, I never even thought of Tyrion as the main player.
I kind of did.
No, I thought saw him as the hand and
For the
like
Iron
important, but for the actual throne. And then I went, oh wait, is there a long game here I didn't see?
See,
I feel like 2 or 3 seasons
with Tyrion,
ago,
like,
Tyrion was always in the mix.
With Tyrion, like, with some of the, like with Tyrion, he was in the crypts, he was like, I can fight, I can do more, why am I down here? And then he's hiding behind it. Hiding behind the thing, but then he actually steps up. I wonder if that's like, is that kind of foreshadowing he will betray Dany? I don't know. That's what I'm banking. I don't know if Tyrion will.
Tyrion and Sansa create a union.
Maybe, yeah.
To rule the kingdom.
Yeah, and I don't know what'll happen.
I've got this vision that the very last thing we ever see in Game of Thrones is just Cersei staring down the barrel of the camera, sipping a glass of wine.
Oh, really?
Still in control of the Iron Throne.
What if you're wrong?
But I just can't actually imagine the process of the Iron Throne not changing hands anymore.
Yeah.
Like, after what we saw in that episode, if you can take the Night King out like that, the Iron Throne could change hands 2 or 3 times before it finishes up.
But does she have a lineage as well?
Who should it end up with?
Well, that's another key loophole to be wrapped up.
Who should it end up with?
That's a big moral question there.
John, who's going to stand there?
It should be Aegon Targaryen.
I think it's going to
Well,
be
it should be John. He has the right claim to the throne, and he's the most honourable of all of them. He's a good man.
He is.
He's not power hungry. He doesn't want it. He's the literal... You know when you study the hero arc in any story?
Yeah.
The hero is the person who doesn't want to be the hero.
Ned Stark could be king.
You know?
I know, but ruling...
That's right, yeah.
Ruling the kingdom is a whole different kettle of fish. You know, deciding what happens on a daily basis and like governance and all that. I don't think he has those skills. When you look at Sansa and Tyrion, they're suited to it. You know, I think so. We saw Dany have those struggles when she was in Marine. You know, for a couple of seasons that she couldn't.
Yeah.
She couldn't.
Yeah. How many more outside? 212.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. None of us in this room predicted that Arya Stark was going to kill the Night King.
No, we have to give it up to
Gendry
Simon.
Baratheon rowed a bloody boat for 4 seasons to stay in the mix. Arya and Gendry are going to be the Stark-Baratheon reunion at the end.
Hold on a minute. So one of the plot lines over the first couple of episodes was Arya working on this weapon. Like, surely that was a little bit of a foreshadow that this weapon might become important, no?
But it wasn't the one that did the
I know it wasn't the one that did the thing, but it
it
foreshadowed the fact that she would have a significant part to play in this battle.
Yeah. Interesting, I listened to a breakdown of the showrunners. They said that they knew for the last 3 or 4 years that it was going to be Arya.
Right.
When did you listen to that today?
This morning.
You got through a lot of content today. Did you go to sleep at all after the episode?
We watched it last night live on HBO.
Yeah.
How could you sleep after it?
He didn't.
I woke up to
He
a
was
message.
texting us.
Oh my God.
I watched it this morning.
Were you just dying at about half 3?
In the middle of, like, you know...
He rang me at 10 a.m. after OTBM was over and he was like, do you want to come out and watch it over here?
He'd know what to talk to for hours. Where are the guys?
All I can say is that
episode 4.
the episode was spoiled for me. I knew Arya was going to kill the Night King before it actually
I have
happened.
to be honest, it was right for me too.
I've learned today...
I've been here for the last
just
2 weeks.
never go on...
You were
Welcome back, Owen. After your star appearance, you went viral while you were away. You've made our show even more famous than it
I
already
didn't
is.
go viral. I was in a video that was watched 1,000 times by about
People
10
you know.
people.
1,000?
Exactly.
1,000?
No, 150,000.
Yeah.
In fairness, we all loved it.
150,000 was the death count in Winterfell. It was actually the death count in Winterfell last night. So
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing is right. I was the real spoiler. 150,000 people. 150,000. Who could have thunk it? Right, this show is brought to you with thanks to Discover Northern Ireland, the land of Westeros and Winterfell, and home to the official Game of Thrones exhibition. Log on to discovernorthernireland.com for more info. You have been watching Off the Wall. A very big thank you to Sue, to Andy, to Tommy. Go get some sleep. Go rest up.
Yep. Anybody at home, tweet us with your theories.
Yeah,
who you think
do.
will sit the Iron Throne? Who is your MVP of the episode?
What were your hypotheses?
Your
Hypothesis.
Yes.
hypothesis?
Or hypotheses?
That's it.
No theories. Andy's the only man who's got theories.
I got no
DM
theories.
him.
We're finally on iTunes as well.
Oh, we're finally on
That
iTunes.
took a while.
iTunes.
A few technical issues.
8 seasons.
We got there. We're on YouTube.
We certainly are. You're watching us on YouTube, and we'll see you again next week here with the four of us, probably reacting to some more crazy stuff that happens in Game of Thrones. It's episode 4. We'll see you next week on Off the Wall.